In the heart of Africa, where the land is rich with culture and the earth breathes with ancient secrets, there was a river known as the River of Life. It wound its way through vast forests, parched deserts, and bustling villages, touching the lives of countless people. Its waters held the memories of generations, its flow carried the whispers of history, and its journey was intertwined with the fate of the land and the people who lived alongside it. The birth of the river, many years ago. Before the world became the way it is today, the river began as a small spring in the high mountains, hidden beneath layers of trees and mist. This spring, known as the Sacred Spring, was said to be the heart of the world, where the spirits of the ancestors whispered their wisdom to the earth. The first drop of water that fell from this sacred place carried within it the power to give life. As the spring grew into a river, it passed through valleys and forests, giving life to everything it touched. The animals of the jungle, the plants of the forest, and the people who lived in the villages along its banks all thrived thanks to the river's life-giving waters. The river became a symbol of both fertility and renewal, a reminder that life, like water, is always flowing and ever-changing. The village by the river. In one of the villages along the river's banks lived a young woman named Amina. She had lived her entire life beside the river. And like the river itself, her spirit was restless. While many of the villagers were content to stay in their familiar homes, Amina always felt that there was something more to the world. She dreamed of traveling far beyond the river, seeing the lands it flowed through, and discovering the secrets it held, but the elders of the village told her that the river's journey was a dangerous one. It twisted through deep jungles, crossed deserts, and flowed through lands filled with hardship. The river's path is not for the faint of heart, they warned. It will change you in ways you cannot imagine. Amina, however, was determined. She believed that the river held the key to her destiny and the answers to her unanswered questions. And so, one day, she packed her belongings, said farewell to her family, and set off on the river's path, hoping to find herself in the journey. The trials of the river. As Amina traveled along the river's course, she faced many trials. The first was the great jungle, a thick, dark forest where the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar flowers. She met creatures that she had never seen before, animals that were kind but mysterious, and others that were fierce and protective of their land, but Amina was not afraid. She listened to the forest, learned its rhythms, and began to understand the language of the trees and animals. She discovered that the jungle was not just a place of danger, it was also a place of deep wisdom. In its shadows, Amina learned how to trust her instincts and find strength in silence. After months in the jungle, Amina came to a vast desert, the desert of endless winds. Here, the river grew faint, and the land seemed barren and unforgiving. The scorching heat and constant winds threatened to drain her spirit, but Amina pressed on, remembering the stories the elders had told her about the desert's power to transform those who journeyed through it. One day, after weeks of battling the relentless desert, Amina collapsed from exhaustion beneath the shadow of a single, ancient tree. As she rested, she heard a voice, soft and distant. It was the spirit of the desert, and it spoke to her in a language she did not understand, yet somehow, she knew what it meant. The desert does not take. It gives, but only to those who endure. Amina understood then that the desert was not merely a place of struggle, it was a place of renewal. The river had carried her here for a reason, to teach her patience and resilience. She found the strength to rise, and as she did, the desert seemed to open up before her, revealing hidden oases and paths that led her onward. The river's revelation. After years of traveling, Amina finally reached the point where the river split into two. One path leading to the sea, the other to a great lake. Standing on the banks, she realized that the journey was not just about discovering the world. It was about understanding the relationship between the self and the world. Amina returned to the village, her heart transformed by her experiences. She was no longer the young, restless woman who had left. She had become someone who understood the true nature of life, how it ebbs and flows like the river, how it faces challenges and finds ways to adapt. The journey had changed her, deepened her, and awakened her to the interconnectedness of all things. In her heart, Amina knew that the river had taught her the most important lesson: life, like the river, was ever-changing. Every challenge, every hardship, was an opportunity to grow and learn. And just as the river gave life to the land, so too did every individual have the power to give life to their dreams, to their communities, and to the world. The return to the river. Years later, Amina returned to the river, but this time, it was not just as a traveler. She came as a teacher, bringing with her the wisdom she had gained on her journey. She gathered the villagers at the river's edge and began to speak of the lessons she had learned, the strength in unity, the patience in adversity, and the importance of trusting the journey. The river, as always, flowed gently beside her, its waters whispering ancient wisdom. It was a reminder that no matter how far we travel, no matter how many obstacles we face, the river of life always guides us back to where we began, changed and wiser for the journey. As Amina's story spread, it became a symbol of hope and perseverance for many. Her journey was a reminder that life's path, much like the river, is filled with twists and turns, challenges, and transformations. Yet, through it all, there is beauty in the journey itself. Thank you for watching this story of the River of Life and Amina's incredible journey. We hope it inspires you to trust in the flow of life, to embrace both the challenges and the joys along the way. If you found meaning in this story, don't forget to share it with others. Let's spread this message far and wide, so that more people can learn from the wisdom of the river. And stay tuned for more stories that will touch your heart and soul, stories that will remind you of the power of hope, change, and the journey of life. Thank you, and until next time, keep following your own river's path.